Run trackers. Apps that let you track how long you've run, how fast you've run, the trail you've covered, your average speed, etc. etc. That is exactly what we'll be building today. To be honest, I don't know how exactly we'll be building it. I have no idea at all because I haven't built an app that tracks real movements, uses geolocation and these sort of technologies. But for now, all I know is that we'll be building a web application that will let you track your runs, and that's it. So the main thing that I want you to take from this video is how I approach my problems. I often just start with a new idea, learn about it from internet by reading blogs or watching videos, and then just implement it. Now, I've done it so many times now that I'm pretty confident I can build anything that I have in my mind. And that's what exactly we'll be doing today. Now, after building this app, another fun thing that I'll be doing is that I'll be taking it for a spin to Carbon Park on the 13th of June. So any of you time travelers watching this video, you're free to join me, and I'm like very excited to meet you over there. And one more thing, this whole app building will be timed, and the time limit will be 2 hours. So let's get started. Well, let's see, here's the timer. Let's start it for 2 hours and see where we're going. Okay, so first of all, we need to research what we'll be building. That is our run tracking app. Okay, it's just listing a few applications that are run trackers. That's not what we want. How to build a workout training app with React Native. Fine, this is a good one. Reddit is usually very useful, as are some blog posts. I don't see any blog posts though. Let's try how to build a running tracker app. Will that'll be of any help? Not really. I found another article, refining GPS for more accurate tracking. Alright, let's read what we have so far. I've been trying to build a workout app using the React Native background geolocation. Let's see if we have one for the browser. How to use the browser geolocation by Google. Yes, I think this is a very promising start for us because this is what we'll probably be using. Okay, let's not waste too much time on this. Okay, so far this Reddit post wasn't too useful for us. It's anyways related to React Native, and that's not what we're looking for. It's not a mobile application, which does have access to a lot of other APIs which are natively present on mobiles. So that's not what we want. We want a pure web app solution. So this is not the article for us. Like Runkeeper. What about this article? How to create a mobile application for runners. Okay, even this won't be for us. Okay, so I think we need to type how to build a web app for tracking runs. Okay, so I guess now it's time that we actually go to ChatGPT and take help of ChatGPT to actually figure this out. Build a web app for tracking runs. Google Maps. Usually providing more prompts and precise prompts does help ChatGPT give better answers. So that's what I've done over here instead of simply asking, hey, build a web app that tracks runs for me. Database management. We won't be going to database for now. Choose the tech stack. Geolocation. Okay, we are not concerned about the UI for now. To get the user's location. Alright, I mean, that is a good start. I don't know why we need a database for that. So this is how we'll be tracking the run. We'll be watching the position and seeing how it changes over time. And then we'll probably be adding we can add the run path as well. Okay, that's pretty cool. And data visualization. We can look into that later. Testing and development. Alright, so as I had already suspected, we'll be needing to get deeper into the geolocation API that is natively present on every browser and the Google Maps API that Google provides. So let's go and check out the Google Maps API before everything else. We've already seen this, and this sort of just shows the map location of whatever lat long I put over here. But can it change on demand? That is the real question. I think API Explorer, Maps Static API, Maps Embed API, Map URLs, Distance Matrix API. Okay, this looks interesting. Geolocation API, Map Coverage Details, Asset Tracking Plan. Okay, wow, Asset Tracking Plan. That sounds very, very close to what we want. Is that what I'm thinking it is? Asset Tracking Plan was launched. This plan is available with large fleets. Okay, fine. I guess that is something else. It's not what we're looking for. What about static map API? It's a static map. Okay, not useful. The maps embed. Again, same thing. I think we'll only need to be embedding the map on our website. You have seen in so many websites, right? They give the location of their office on their website. This is how they do it. But we don't need this. Maps URL. So a distance matrix over here somewhere. Distance matrix API. Yes. Get the travel distance and time of matrix origin between origins and destinations. Okay, this looks interesting. Make a distance matrix request. Get the travel distance and journey duration for a matrix of origins and destinations. And what about geolocation API overview? Okay, this just gives an overview of the geolocation of the actual browser. There's the geolocation browser API. So, we'll be looking at this later. Google Maps coverage details. Now, this is also not of any use to us. Get distance between, you could start with the distance matrix API. Origins and destinations. Units imperial key, your API key. This is the URL that we need to send the request to. Okay, so it's, I think, a GET request, which is taking arguments via its query parameters. And then this is the response that we get back. But this is like a city name to another city name. Origins, coordinates. If you pass lat-long coordinates, they will snap to the nearest road. Passing a place ID is preferred. If you do pass coordinates, ensure that no space exists between the lat-long values. Alright, and it will snap to the nearest road, which is not ideal, but I mean, okay. I could do with running on the road for a while. Alright, I mean, if it just works for running on the road, I'm really fine with that. Alright, so I think this is what we need. Not too shabby. Client libraries for Google Maps services. We need a Node.js client. This library is designed for server-side Node.js applications. You are attempting to use it client-side in either the browser or any other environment. May in some cases work, but mostly will not. For other environments, try the Maps JavaScript API, which contains compatible feature set and is explicitly intended for the use with the client-side JavaScript. So far, what I've been able to understand that there are two different types. There are two different ways that we can take. We can either use the JavaScript client-side library, or we can use the Node.js server-side library. So I think we need to research which one is better for us. Though by intuition, I think that it would be better for us to use the client-side library, because that's where we also have access to the geolocation. So we can send everything in one request and get back the response of the distance that we are traveling. But the distance matrix API is only covered in the Google Maps Node.js client. Is that right? Let's search using distance matrix API. Cool. On client side, and just also type browser. I mean, it is an API, so it's supposed to be, I guess it can be sent over like this. I don't know why we need to run it on the server side. No idea. Start using the distance matrix, get started. I don't think we actually do need the server-side library for this, because this is just a simple GET request. So why would we be needing the server for this, right? That's what I'm thinking. All right, so I think I have a fair idea now. So it's time for me to create my next app, because we'll be using next app for making our web application. Let's go. PNPM as my package manager. Let's create our next app. We'll name it track my runs. I want to use TypeScript. I want to use ESLint. I want to use Tailwind. I don't want to use the source directory. I want to use the app router. No customization required for the import alias. Great. Let's also install Prettier. PNPM. And then we'll also want to install ESLint config Prettier. And let's open this now in my editor. I'm using WebStorm. I just prefer WebStorm. Alright, let's go ahead and first also start our development script. Run our development script. It's running on localhost 3000. Pause. Yes, this is set up. So I think we are under, let's see how much time we have left. So we have used approximately 20 minutes. We are still left with a lot of time. But I should still hurry up. So now what we'll be doing is that we'll be adding this extends for the Prettier to work. For a Prettier to work in ESLint config. Extends. We want this to go over here and Prettier. And now we'll also be installing the Tailwind sorter for Prettier, because so this helps us in organizing our Tailwind class names. It makes our class names very readable, since we know exactly where that class name will be. That is, backgrounds are usually before text. So I know that backgrounds will be probably the first field, the first name in the class name. So that's what I'll be doing now. And then we need to extend it in prettier.rc. All right. Now let's get our Google Maps API key. So that's what we'll be doing now. I'll have to, of course, set it up. Enjoy 40% off Google Maps platform. Is this a paid API? Okay, so we get $200 usage every month for no charge. All right. I was scared for a moment that we actually need to pay for this, but we don't. So, all right. After I've configured my payments, now I'll be redirected to the Google console, which I have. So let's first of all copy this API key and let's head over to Postman to see what's exactly going on. And let's now use the URL that is provided to us. Yes, this one. Let's see the response that we get in Postman. Let me just verify if that was my API key. Yes. All right. So what do I get back? 404 not found. Okay. The requested URL. Okay. Is this a post request? Nope. It's not. So what is the problem? It's supposed to be a GET request. I have provided the right values. That's all we know. Okay. Learn how to build request URLs. Let's see if the distance matrix API has been enabled or not. Distance matrix API. It does look enabled. Why am I not able to use it? Documentation. Make a distance matrix request is exactly what I'm doing. Routes API. Routes API is the next generation performance optimized version of the existing directions and distance matrix API. Nice. Make your first route request. Get a route. Following example shows the URL of a REST request. You can use route by sending an HTTP post request to the compute routes method or by calling compute routes. What does this do? HTTP example. View the API reference. Okay, so this is the REST endpoints that are available: compute route matrix and compute routes. Returns the primary route along the options of alternate routes. Returns a stream containing route information for each combination of origin and destination. Google Routes API post request. Okay, so I don't think we need a route matrix. The only thing that we need right now is the route. That is a single route from location A to location B. So that is what we'll be using right now, which will be the compute routes. We need to post this. This is the base URL and this is the compute routes. This is a post request. Now let's see what let's see what the body of the post request actually requires. This is what the body is looking like. You can send in raw JSON, and I think I should just copy this over. Need to format it correctly as well. And where do I need to give my API key? API key. Okay, so that needs to be set in the metadata. Following is an example of a gRPC request. Okay, my bad. We need it for a HTTP request. So this is what we'll actually be needing. Where is it taking the API key? Content type, application JSON, headers, and this is where I need to give my API key. Okay, I hope this works now. Raw 403. Route API has not been used in project before, or it is disabled. Alright, I need to enable it. Wow, I'm doing this so bad. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just following instructions from Google right now, and okay, yeah, this is disabled, thank God. And it led me right to it, so I'm guessing I'm on the right track. Right route, enable. Yeah, so this is exactly how it looks when I'm actually coding. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just reading through a lot of articles right now and following documentation. Let's send it again. 404 field mask is a required parameter. Field mask is a required parameter. Mask. What is that? Field mask represents a set of symbolic field paths. Distance matrix is not useful to us anymore. We'll be only focusing on the routes API, which I didn't know clearly before. Okay, this is an other header that I need to set. And anything else that I've missed over here? Probably content type as well. Content type. Application isn't okay, that's already set. Timestamp must be set to a future time. Okay. When is the timestamp set to? Departure time. 2025. Okay, 2025 should work. I just enabled it. Why is it showing it's disabled? Weird. Very, very weird. What am I missing right now? How much time do we have left? Okay, I've spent 45 minutes analyzing Google Maps. That is the crux of our problem, so why not? It's not something wrong. Once this is figured out, it won't take us very long to build the actual application. But still, I can't take very long in this. I have to figure it out in the next 15 minutes. Or else it'll be very difficult for me to build the application in just under an hour. What are we missing from our request? Why is it saying that I need to enable something? I have very clearly enabled it. Okay. Second time is the charm. Duration, distance in meters. Yes, now we're talking. And the other fun part is that unlike the distance matrix API, over here I can choose the travel mode, which, if I'm not wrong, there is a walk mode over here as well. Where can I see the API? Routes API. And view the API reference. Yes. compute routes. This is what we're using. And the body. Yes, this is the body that we need. Travel mode. It's an enum. It's a route travel enum. Yes, walk. And just like that, we probably are aware of a few things. What is routing preference? Routing preference, traffic unaware. Yeah, we don't give a shit about traffic right now. So traffic unaware. Anything else? Compute alternative routes false. Avoid false. Units imperial. Let's check out the units as well. Units. Metric. Always go for metric. Routing preference cannot be set for walk or bicycle routing mode. Oh no. Routing preference. Oh, this cannot be set. That makes sense. That makes more sense than what I actually did. Alright, I guess our API is working now. I don't think I need to provide this. Let's just experiment. Because I want the request body to be as small as possible. Yeah, it's working without it. Language code. We need to provide a language code, or is English the default? I guess English is the default. What if I don't give it any departure time? Okay, this also works. Compute alternative routes. Is that required? No. Okay, so the only thing that I need is the origin, of course, the destination, of course, the travel mode, which is of walk, and the units. Now, what I'm thinking is that every few seconds, like every 10 seconds, I'll be sending a request, getting a response, and then storing that in some sort of state or variable locally. Later, we can shift this to some database, but I don't think I'll have the time to shift it to a database. Yeah, we're like 50 minutes into building this application already, so I don't think we have time for setting up the database and everything. No authentication. This will be an open app. Anyone can come in, use it for their run, and then be gone. Now, it'll be interesting to actually store the running information as well, but we won't be doing that for now, at least. That's where you can help me. I'll be open sourcing this code, so your help will be hugely appreciated. Departure time. Optional. If you don't set this value, this defaults to the time that you made the request. Yeah, I mean, that is perfect. That is exactly what we would expect. Alright, now let's see how we'll be using the geolocation API. What does the geolocation API of the browser actually give us? Yeah, MDN is usually the best. Usually has the best docs for anything related to the web. Geolocation dot current position. How do I do this? Get current position method. Is this already natively present? Get current. No, it's not. Okay, I didn't know we will have to also spend time on geolocation. That is native to the browser. I expected it to be very straightforward, but clearly it is not. I mean, at least I'm not able to understand what's going on over here. Okay, that is working. And I just exposed my location. OpenStreetMap. How is it getting the location? Position, success, function, success. Where is success being used? I'm very confused right now. Okay, navigator or geolocation success error. Okay, is that how it's supposed to work? Okay, this is a function is what it's saying, and I need to give it some success function. It'll just be console.logging it right now. Works. For error, it'll be just an empty function for now. Works. Nice. Okay, so this is how I was supposed to do it, but wasn't I already using this? Okay, capital N. Shit. Success. Success takes in position. Let's log the position. That'll be cool. Position. Position is a geolocation position which contains my coordinates, the lat and the long. And this the only thing that I need for my origin and destination. Once I have this, once this changes, let's say every 10 seconds, every 20 seconds, we can decide on that later. And based on this, we'll be sending requests to the Google API, which is over here, the lat long for the destination, and we'll be updating the origin with it as well. Now, what is the other thing that we'll be needing? Right now, this is working. What is the other thing that we'll be needing? Now, another cool thing that we can do is that we need a way for us to show the route or the trail that we have covered during our run. Let's see if there's a way for us to do that. First, let us check on the time. Right, we have like 1 hour left, and I guess we'll have to stop researching at an hour's point and start building after that. Maneuver, what's this? Is there a better way to do this? Speed reading interval. What is this? No, this is not what we need. Compute routes. The request body. Okay, the response. Routes. What does it actually return? The routes, which is an array which contains the distance in meters. Is it in meters? Okay, I guess it's in meters. One way for us to give the route is to just give the end position and the start position. The start position and the end position, that is our origin and the destination, once the run is over. And then we can generate a beautiful map out of it. But is that the best way? Because while I'm running, I can actually take many different routes to get to this place. Then that won't be showing the accurate distance. Get a route.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Okay, so I think we'll be able to build a very, very basic version of what we had initially started with. The only thing that we'll be able to build right now is to track how I go from point A to point B to point C to point D, and then calculate the distance between each of them. Yeah, I think we'll have to give up on actually showing the route, unless we only want to show the initial and first route. Let's see how we can actually. Okay, let's just do this once. Mapping the real world to your users with dynamic maps. Use waypoints in routes. If only I had a little more time, I think I would have been able to pull this off. Since I think we're in the right direction. Let's see the fiddle once. How is this looking? No. Total distance. It's not showing the route, is it? Oh, it is. It is showing the route. This is exactly what we want. Shit. Okay, this is what we want. Okay, now that I've found it, I'll keep it open. Right on, let's get started with this very, very quickly. The child. There'll be a single page. It'll be wrapped in main. This div can go, this div can go, all the divs can go. And we here, okay, first off, what we'll need is us for a way to compute the routes, a start button first of all. So I think this will be a very client heavy app as expected. So let's name it track runs. And I'll make a component for that. Track runs.tsx. This will be a client component. Okay, let's not make it a client component at first. tr and only the props. Next up, I'll be needing the button. So start button.tsx rsf. I think this will have to be a client component because I want it to share a state which will pass down to the start button. Cons track run, and I want this use state this to be track run, or probably is run start. I know it's not the correct English, but that's the convention. This is a convention that I'm following. And I want this to be passed down to the button that I have over here. That is the start button. Why do I need to separate that for that it's a simple button, right? Actually, you don't need this. This can be a normal button for now, which will be of type which on click will just reverse it. Previous state and the opposite of the previous state. And over here we can do this will probably be false when we begin, and is run start. It should render stop. This is how we're doing so far. Start button. Now is a good time to install shardcn because I don't like this button at all. Install it. Yes. No, this is okay. I think I copied the wrong command. I was initializing another next app inside my next app. Yes, this is the one I need. And let's start by adding in the button. pnpm. And let's use it now. Button. A lot better already. And I want this to be in dark mode. Even though I'm running out of time, I'm thinking of dark mode, which just shows you that I love dark mode. Does this fix it? No. Okay, I need to add it over here. Yes, perfect. Start, stop. You can add in colors over here as well. Variation? Variant. Is run start, then it should be if it started, then it should be destructive. Otherwise it should be default. And default is not too bad. Stop, start, stop, start, stop. Fine. Okay with it for now. Now whenever I start the run, I want to run some sort of for loop. If is run start, then this is what I want. Now the question is, should this be inside a use effect? I don't think this should be inside a use effect because this function will anyways re-render every time my is run, but then every time my is run starts. But I think it is a good idea because then it won't even. No, so I don't think we need a use effect for now. So let's just stick to if is run start, then send a request, start sending a request to this guy, const URL const data. Alright, const URL const data. The URL is this. The data is this. What else? The headers, right? Headers, yes, over here. Did it just recommend me the right thing? No, I mean it did. I think it did for a second and then it flipped. And my API key. Should I just hardcode it? No, I won't do that. Process.env. Need to create an env file. .env. And because this is, because I'll be using this on the client side, I'll need to prefix it with next public. And now because I am actually prefixing it with the next public, it will be accessible to anyone who has my whoever runs my code on their browser, right? So environment variables are not actually protected when you're using them on the client side. They can't be protected. I mean, there are a lot of hacks, and not really hacks, a lot of ways in which you can get the API key. So that is why we also need to restrict our API later, which we'll be doing later on. For now, I'm fine with this. If you remember, I was presented with a restrict API key, which I did not do and not restrict it. But if you're using it on the client side, then it is definitely required. And my API key. Process.env. And I should also be using some t3env variable because this is not too good. I need to say that, bro, I'm sure this is a string. Should I do this? This is not required. Okay, double. Yeah, I think this is better. Yes, I just need to log the data now. An error. So this will do it once. Let's see. Start. Did it twice because I'm inside React strict mode. Should I disable it for development? I mean, that's not recommended ever. So I guess what is wrapping this inside a use effect actually useful? I think it will be useful because it will only render it once. I mean, it's supposed to render it once. But if it does not, then we're screwed again. Is run start. Let's find out. Start. Okay, so it actually just renders it once. I mean, it did render it twice, but then it didn't run the function twice because my is run start, this use effect didn't run again because my is run start state did not change. So the dependency array saved us over here. So I guess we should be using this after all. Okay, now the thing that we need is the lat long. That needs to be updated. So for that, what I'll be doing is that we're using the geolocation that we had found over here to get current position. Should we store this somewhere? How did GPT do it? How do they do it? Copy. Can we copy it? Copy it. Okay, great. How are they doing it exactly? Sending it. They got the lat long. And they're just putting it over here in the form of a anchor tag. Not too bad. We don't want to actually deal with the error case. I mean, we should, but I think I'll have to. I mean, I understood what I have to do, so let's go for it. I'll be initializing all my functions over here. Geofind me. Do I need this? I don't need the whole function, right? Status map link. I can get rid of all of this. This is gone. Error is all right. Navigator, perfect. You don't need find me. Yes. So geofind me, and this actually returns the lat long. This is an async function. Let's make this an async function. Will async function work? Okay, I guess it won't. Or maybe it will. And so the only thing that I need over here is the navigator or geolocation. Promisify geolocation. To promisify a function for navigator geolocation. Yes, I got it. Const geolocation. So this actually won't be passing in the options, and we'll be passing this get current position, and that's how I promise paste geolocation. Okay, fine. Geolocation, and I'll make this async now. So what I can do now is I can actually get this over here as lat long. I can get const location is equal to await geolocation. And what this will return me is unknown. Okay. Position. This should be position. I should probably do this and see what the success callback takes. Geolocation position. So this is the type. As geolocation position. Yes. Okay, but I'm not sure that it'll be that, right? Wait, resolve, reject. Yes, you want to resolve, you want to reject it. This should, no, we'll need to map this inside a, okay, nice. And then I can return this in the form of a return. I can do this, lat long. Yes, perfect. This is exactly what I want. And over here, if run is started, then const geofind me. Wait, geofind me. This means that this needs to be an async function. Const time. Const data is a const calc run, or maybe track run is equal to async. And then over here, if is run started, then this, over here, lat latitude, longitude. Okay, fine. And since this is happening every 10 seconds, we can do something with it. Alright. Let's see what this resulted in. Is it broken somewhere? Okay, something went wrong. Not sure what. Log. Okay, shit. Of course it doesn't work. I haven't called track run anywhere. Shit, I just remembered it. And we don't want this to, we don't want to wait on that. So I'll just add in void. Let's see. So know my location until I close the site. Allow. Bad request. Latitude must be in the range of -90 to +90. What? What are you saying, Google? Log, latitude, longitude. So what am I doing wrong? 90 to +90? Okay, so I think I messed up over there. It can't be +100. That's what it's saying. My bad. Let's go for +10 and +10. Okay, yeah, the Earth is massive. +10 degrees would be a lot. Whoa. That's how much 10 degrees is. And I was trying to add 100 degrees. That's stupid of me. Polyline. Encoded polyline. What will this do? I guess something. Yes. This is working now. I wonder what will happen if I get very fast 0, because it's the same place. Alright. We need another state over here. Const, which will be a state called position. The initial state will be latitude 0, longitude 0. Yes, that is what it is. And once we get it for the first time, it will be setting position to latitude and longitude. And this should probably be named a little differently. This should be called origin position. Previous origin position. Yes. In the previous origin position. Now, where will this be useful? Because what we want is, so we want to start this from here. What do we want over here? What do we want? So whenever we are starting from a location to the other location, so we'll be also needing the previous destination position. But how will that be calculated? We'll have to probably wait for some time, right? This is getting complicated very fast in the implementation. You see from here, like geofind me. And then I can use that as the initial position. After everything is done, dot finally. And over here, the latitude is supposed to be the previous origin position and the previous longitude position. previous origin position dot latitude, and then previous origin position dot longitude. Yes. But what if it is 0? Then I want to skip this for the first time, right? If then I want to break. Can you break? I don't think I can break out of this, right? I can just return. So I think I'll be returning for the first time. Yeah, because nothing happened. So I'll at least still log it over here so I can see that I'm actually doing something. Start. Oh, I got some data as well. Now I'll get some data, right? Be 0. Perfect. Duration is 0. .11 and in 11 minutes I have to do a lot of things. We'll be getting rid of this and then converting our fetch to await, to use await. Our response is, and this should probably be the response, and this should be the data. And then yeah, we'll just log it for now. All this needs to be wrapped in a try catch. A lot of errors going on. Const. This will be called the body. Data.routes. And routes is an array. Which contains the duration and a lot of other things as well. Distance meters. So const distance is equal to route.distance meters if distance, then console log it, and then we'll see. All right, now that we have done this so far, I'm not able to see anything, probably because I'm not getting any distance. That's weird. Why I'm not getting any distance? Because this is supposed to be the 0th. I need to access the array, right? Yes. This is the distance in kilometers. Distance in meters, sorry. Distance in meters. Ooh. Alright, great so far. And another state for distance. Use state distance. This is 0. Shift F6. And this is supposed to be the okay, I'll name this as total distance. Total distance set total distance, and then over here if there is any distance, then what I'll need to do is set total distance to yes. Now what I want to do is I want to run this track run in an interval. Set interval to be every 5 seconds. What am I missing? Previous origin position. I actually don't want it to depend on the previous origin position, because that will just not make sense over here. I don't want to include it. I only want to run this every 10 seconds. That's what I want. Or 5 seconds for now. And update the distance. So let's also print the distance over here. The total distance. Clean up. We need to also clean up the interval that we have set up. Clean a function for set interval in use effect. Another question that we should ask ChatGPT again. I mean, we already know the answer, and it's only because we know the concept of cleanup that we are able to ask this question to ChatGPT. Const interval ID. And return. Now let's get started. Start. And now it should print something after 5 seconds. Yes. And now it didn't print any data because it didn't have any data to print. Very weird. Why isn't the previous origin position updated over here? That doesn't make sense. Is it because it didn't get the previous origin data? Could be. So what do we need to do for that? 3 minutes. It is printing the same lat long every time, previous lat long. Okay. Why is that the case? Because I'm only setting it once. Okay. If it didn't return, I'm not getting any data as well, right? I'm not logging anything. I should log something over here. Log distance. Does this work? Okay, I do get some distance now. We actually started again. Okay. Alright, it's not going to the distance, it's always returning before that, which means that it's not getting this memo. So I will have to add it over here. Previous origin position. Damn, I didn't think I'll need to add it. Start. Okay. Let's see where this heads. Oh, thank God it's working. Okay, I guess I won't be able to complete it in time. Alright, chuck it. Let's go beyond the 2-hour limit a little more. Let's add a stopwatch for how much more time we'll be needing. Fine, we'll see. Okay, so I think the few things that we need to correct over here are we need to make sure our if conditions are correct, because right now it is very messed up. I mean, we are almost there. We are getting data. We are able to update it. If our geolocation updates, then we'll be able to track it as well. So I think there are two things that we need to fix. First of all, we need to fix the origin position. We need to make sure that it updates every time. And the second thing is that we want a way for us to put this in a loop. That is, we want for this function to run every 5 seconds or every 10 seconds, which we are able to do currently. But the problem is that there is some problem. I'm not sure what the problem is right now. And now what if I have some const over here? I'm like programmatically testing how I'll be running, and I'll be adding it over here. And this will be like very small. Should I add in the longitude? Sure, it doesn't make any difference. And then over here, after I've set everything and everything's done, I'll be I plus 0.00001. Yes. And this can't be a const, of course. It's supposed to be a let, because I want its value to update. Let's start. So I'm programmatically running. This is like I'm running like I don't know how many meters, but at least some distance. So I'll be running 0.02 more than the previous time. Why is this not working? Let's add in let's log the data as well. No, this didn't log because I got 0. Perfect. Why didn't this work? Because it's very close. So I think 0.00001 is very less. That's why it didn't work. Let's remove a few more zeros. Let's try now. I mean, it's practically like I'm standing right next to the point where I started. And that's why I guess it's not calculating my distance, which is perfect. Okay, even this didn't calculate it. What if I go for 0.01? Should I log it as well to see if it's actually increasing or not? Yeah, let's go for it. Now, this is not how I usually code. I usually make use of the debugger a lot and the network tab a lot, but when you're moving very fast and want to iterate very fast, I guess this is the best approach. I is 0 always. Correct. I is 0 always. And now I'm just flying. Okay, why was I 0 for the first 3 iterations? It wasn't supposed to be like that. Okay, the first iteration I understand why it's 0. That's how we started. For the second iteration, why is it 0? Is it because this is exactly the same as the previous one? Okay, this makes sense. And then this time, okay, so what I need to do is that I need to actually increase the position of I even before I start. Now that will do some magic for me. That'll make me fly. Right after I find my altitude, latitude and longitude, I'll go for it. Start. So by the second iteration, I'm calculating that I should see my distance increase. Will I? I won't, because the previous and origin is same. Okay, but third time it will. Perfect. So it's working. It is working like a charm. It is working, and I guess I delivered on what I promised in let's see how long. Okay, it took me 11 minutes longer. And now I know this is not the most beautiful looking app in the world. It looks, in fact, very, very ugly. Very ugly. But I guess I can style it and then just share the final product with you. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll be going offline. In the sense, I'll not be recording that bit, or maybe I'll be recording it and it'll be put on. I'll be put on as a speed run. Yeah, it'll be just a sort of a time lapse of me making the UI at least all right, and yeah, that's it. So that's the UI looking a lot better than it was before. I've picked up a few components from Certainty UI. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but Certainty UI. Yeah, I picked up a few components from there. The background, the buttons, and then I changed the font to something really cool that I found on Google Fonts called Kanit. Yeah, I'm not sure again how to pronounce this, but Kanit or whatever you want to call it. And that's what I've been using, and I mean, yeah, this gets the job done. Now it's time for us to focus on the logic. Let's get rid of this I. We won't be needing it. And is it being used anywhere in the code? I'm getting an error over here, so probably this. Yeah, perfect. And what else? Let's get rid of the logs. Yes, I guess that's it. Now, because I'm getting distance in meters, I need to divide this by 1,000 and then show it, because I'm displaying my distance covered currently in kilometers. That's what I want right now. So total distance by 1,000. And I think another thing which I can do over here is that I just want this to be displayed whenever my run has started, only and only then. So I don't want it to be displayed when I'm not running. Start. Perfect. Now, is there a way for me to make some frame of motions with this? Let's try out. Can I add in some frame of motion? What should I add though? Animation? Yeah, I guess this looks pretty nice. So let's see animations, motion.div, animate. Will this work though? I have no idea. Let's import motion from frame of motion. Why is this over here? Weird. Okay, what's the problem? Motion.div. This is self-closing, that's why. Let's see. Okay, so animation is right, but then I don't want it to go. I don't want it to be x 100. Rather, I want rotation probably. Rotation. Then rotation won't look too good, right? Probably y10 would look nice. y50. Let's try y50. Yeah, y50 looks nice. I'm not sure if this is the best animation in the world, but it'll do for now. Now the only way to actually find out if it's working is by taking it for an actual run, and yeah, I guess that is the only thing that is remaining. And for that, of course, I won't be taking my laptop in my backpack. I'll need to host it, and for that we'll be using Vercel simply. And it's been pushed over here. So now let's head over to Vercel, import this and build it. Deploy. Do I have any environment variables? I guess I do, right? Yes, I do have an environment variable. So I think I need to cancel this, add in my environment variable over here simply, and deploy it now. Yes. Our project has been deployed successfully, which is great. Track my run flame Vercel app. Naming is also great. Now, another thing that I want to do before I actually test out this app is to make my application logic a lot better. Right now it's very messed up and I'm not even sure what I'm doing. What I want to do is that I want my distance to be updated every 10 seconds. Now, how can I do that? Well, a way for me for that to happen is that I can use an infinite while loop whenever my interval ID has started, whenever my run has started, whenever I've clicked the button start. So what I want is that if run start, Then I want there to be a while true. I want there to be a infinite loop to run. Yeah, while is run start. Okay, that's actually much better. While run start, and this should probably be inside some use effect. Which is dependent on is run start, right? So let's get rid of the interval. We won't be needing the interval anymore. Though we will be needing exactly the same logic. So let's get rid of, let's actually just copy over this. In over here, while is run start, console.log running, and actually want not running but the function track run to run over here. Set up the controller abort as well, which will abort the last connection that is there. Now another thing which I would like to avoid is that I don't want this previous origin position to actually be a state, because I don't want there to be a re-render every time my location changes. So I'll get rid of that, and let's actually make this a const over here. And instead of setting it, we'll simply be doing previous origin position to this. No need to return. Actually, return needs to come in over here, and this cannot be a const. This needs to be a let. Similarly, this needs to be copied over to, yes, over here as well. And the distance is the only thing that we're updating right now. This is how I want my application to run actually. Now I've put an eye over here because I want to simulate my run. We are assuming that I'll cover this much distance over some period of time. Yes. Let's check it out now. Start network. Did I just crash my app? What happened? I don't see anything running. Probably did crash my app. This should resolve very quickly. I've stopped the development script. Why is it taking so long? Right. PNPM dev. Another thing that I forgot to add over here is that I want there to be a 5-second delay before running this. So add delay, and ChatGPT is very good at these sort of simple functions. Add delay. Now my application shouldn't crash because I'm not just infinitely calling it. I should see this instantly. What's wrong over here? While is run start. It's not even starting. So there is something which I've messed up. What is that? So my background is active right now. The moment I click on this, my app freezes. So which means I have done something very, very wrong over here. Which is that I'm constantly running this every 5 seconds. There is that, I guess. How do we solve this problem then? I want this function to run, and I want it to run consistently. I want to update the distance as well. While is run start, new promise. Is recursion the answer to this? I think recursion might be the answer to this. Track run. So we can actually await this. And this will only happen if is run start. Yes. That's perfect. Okay, now this shouldn't break the application anymore. Yes, it does not. And what am I getting? Is there anything in the network tab at all? Nothing. Very weird. Very, very weird. Where have I messed up again? I need to call this function once at least, right? I think that's the mistake. Void track run. Yes, that is the mistake. Now let's start. Allow. Okay. I mean, yeah, the logic is much better now. So this should work. But it's not. It's not even sending a single request. Okay, it's working. That took way too long. 891. Okay, this is a lot more consistent. But let's do a dry run now. So whenever whenever my component initially mounts, this use effect will run, right? Now whenever this runs, this will be initialized, the controller will be initialized, and the track run function will be called. Now inside the track run function, because my run has not started initially, it's initially false. I'll skip all of this and I'll exit the use effect. But the instant I click on the start button, my is run start will be set to true. And then I'll be going inside my use effect. Again, I'll be initializing the origin position, the controller. And this time when I enter my track run, I'll be entering my is run start if condition as well. And over here, there's a logic that if it is 0, then I'll be setting the previous origin position to the latitude and the longitude. And I'll also be calling the track run function again. So I'll be calling the track function again. And this time, because the previous origin position, latitude and longitude are not 0, I'll be moving ahead. Now, once I move ahead, what will happen is that I'll be posting this request. I'll be getting a response. And then I'll be processing that response, the data that I receive. And I'll be adding it to the distance if there is any distance that is valid. And then again, I'll be setting the previous origin position to the latitude and the longitude. And after that, if the run is still going on, what I'll do is that I'll call this function again and I'll track the run again. So this function will start again. So I'm actually recursively calling this function. And everything will again start. Since the previous origin position and the previous latitude and longitude are stored outside the track run function, they will be preserved and they won't be lost. And yeah, that's the app working. One thing that I noticed over here is that the run start, this is actually the same checking the same condition. So why not actually include this inside the same code? Let's get rid of this if is run start. And it's basically the same thing now. Yes. Let's commit this code. It's a refactoring code, that's why ref. Yes, the application is complete now. So now the only thing remaining is for me to test the application, and that will be tested by actually going on a run now. So after testing the app in Cup Park, that is by actually going on a run, I was able to test that this app 100% works. I mean, of course, GPS tracking and tracking your location and tracking your distance by GPS is not the most perfect way, but it got job done, and I'm pretty satisfied with what I had built so far, with what I've built so far. All right, let's now discuss the mistakes that I made during my build. And there were definitely some huge mistakes which I could have avoided and saved myself a lot of time. So the first mistake was that I spent way too much time researching. I mean, researching is very important whenever you're building a problem that you don't know how to build. But my approach should have been to iteratively research. That is, research a little and then build whatever I've learned so far. Research a little and then build what I've learned so far. Because I was in general going in the right direction. I was generally going in the right direction in terms of the APIs that I was using and the navigation watch location API that I was using. But I somehow waited for almost an hour before actually writing any code, which I shouldn't have done. The instant I got to know what I was supposed to do with the routes API and the nav location geolocation API, I should have went ahead and built a very basic version of what I had already done. That would have helped me in picking up my speed, probably getting to know my mistakes that could occur very early in the project. Right now, the second mistake that I made was very close to what the first mistake was. The second mistake was that I tried to solve the problem of building the whole running app in one go. What I should have done rather is that I should have broken down the app of building a run tracker into smaller problems, such as first figuring out how I'm going to track the distance, then how I'm going to show it on a map, and steps like that. That would have really helped me in breaking down problems into very small and solvable problems, and that would have really helped me in getting my momentum for the app. And of course, the third mistake is that I couldn't deliver the app that I had promised initially. That is, I over promised and under delivered. Whenever you're building an application, even in your company or for yourself, you always want to over deliver and under promise. That is, you want to undersell yourself in a way that no, my app is not that special. I'm going to probably build something low key. But then when you deliver the app, it should be mind blowing, and that's when you should really over deliver. But I what I did was the complete opposite. I over delivered for you guys. I mean, I over promised you guys, and I really way under delivered. I only could build an app that can track your position from point A to point B and track the distance between the positions, and that's it. These are mistakes that you can learn from whenever you're building application under a time limit, say for a hackathon, or whenever you've taken a challenge upon yourself that you have to build an application within 2 days and just throw it out in the public. That's what you can learn from this video as a whole. How to build applications under time limit. And that was really my goal with this video as well. Even though I utterly failed at what I had initially thought, I did push out a workable product of what I thought and what I really could within 2 hours. And that's all this whole video was really about. All in all, it was really fun. I learned a lot during building this application. I learned about the Maps API of Google, which I had actually never used in any of my applications. So that was a really eye-opening experience for me. Then I also learned about how to do better research. I usually waste a lot of time researching whenever I am building applications without a time limit. That is, whenever I'm building applications just for fun. And I do waste a lot of time, but that is fine, right? We all waste time whenever we are building applications, but my approach would really have been more iterative and more focused whenever I was researching. That's what I took from this video of mine. I should research the product very well, whatever I'm building. I should be iterative. That is, I should first focus on a very small problem, build on it, and then move on to the next smaller problem that is there inside the application. This step-by-step approach is what I'm really liking, and that's what I'll try to inculcate in my future builds. And well, that brings us to the end of this video. I had a lot of fun building it, and I'll see you in the next one.